Today we're taking on one of the most iconic American holidays and completely denormalizing it. This meal can be used for Thanksgiving or Christmas. Because the typical modern Thanksgiving table is loaded with processed shortcuts, canned soups, instant mixes, ultra-processed fried onions, and turkeys pumped full of hormones, preservatives, and who knows what else. But not here. In my kitchen, we do Thanksgiving the traditional way and the nutrient-dense way. And even desserts get denormalized. Instead of store-bought pies made with refined sugar, industrial seed oils, and artificial sweeteners, we use whole ingredients only. This Thanksgiving that nourishes instead of making us sick. So if you're ready to reclaim your holiday table and make food that actually supports your health instead of sabotaging it, let's denormalize Thanksgiving together. I started denormalizing my Thanksgiving meal 7 or 8 years ago, way before I even woke up to big food in 2020. I decided to start playing in the kitchen around Thanksgiving and making things from scratch. I found that they tasted a lot better and I didn't feel so poorly after the meal. So I've really stepped up my game over the past 5 years or so. And this year I am starting ferments. So canned cranberry sauce is sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. It also has preservatives in it, which I'm sure are carcinogens, and just a whole bunch of stuff that we don't want in our food that we're consuming. So 2 years ago, I started making cranberry sauce from scratch. My husband requires it with his meal and his leftovers. So on the stovetop, it took, 5 or 10 minutes? And I had a preservative-free cranberry sauce from scratch. And yes, I was using sugar at the time, but that's still a lot better than the chemical-ridden canned stuff. So this year, now that I am diving all in with Weston A. Price, I have decided, let me back up a little bit. Modern Stone Age Kitchen with Bill and Christina Schindler, we're discussing a fermented cranberry sauce. And I'm all about gut health recently, as you saw in my last sauerkraut video, trying to help this gut as much as possible. So I figured, well, if it's fermented with honey, it's got to be sweet and still have the flavors. And I can play around with it a little bit with the spices as well. So today is Monday, and obviously Thanksgiving is 3.5 days away. So I am starting my fermented cranberry sauce. So I am currently zesting an orange, a full orange. It's a pretty good size. And we're just putting it in the blender. How easy is that? And then we want the juice. I don't know how to do this properly. I have a lemon juicer, but not an orange juicer. The juice of one orange, we're going to attempt this. Trying to squeeze out as much as humanly possible. So we're just doing 1 bag of organic cranberries. This is an organic orange. I don't know how organic it is. They said it was, so mind over matter on that one. Putting it in the blender, and we're going to lightly blend. I'm gonna have to cut this. Get all of that juice in there. I think this is a Pampered Chef item. I went through a Pampered Chef phase. I'm all about ease in the kitchen and not hurting myself. I think we're golden. And then 1 12-ounce bag of cranberries. And so we're just going to blend it just a little bit to pop the cranberries so that they can take on the honey that they're going to be fermenting in. And this is just a half cup of raw local honey. So I blended the cranberries with the orange zest and the orange juice. I didn't want to liquefy it or puree it. I wanted the chunks of the cranberries still in there. And now I'm putting it into a wide mouth mason jar. The same one I've been using for everything, all of my sourdough. These have come in really handy. Sourdough, sauerkraut, all of the sour fermented things. Alrighty, I'll get the rest out in just a minute. And then the honey goes in. And this is going to sit on the counter loosely covered for the next 3 days. I am going to probably stir it once every 24 hours just to make sure nothing has settled. And every ounce is getting this delicious honey. But it's as easy as that. Took me, what, 5 minutes? And I have a preservative-free, gut healing or helping cranberry sauce. I'm being as extra as possible for this Thanksgiving. No, you do not have to go this extra mile. However, my farm stand was selling pie pumpkins for $1, so I couldn't refuse. So I sliced these open, took out the seeds, and put them in the oven at 400 degrees for 45 to 60 minutes. So you want the innards to pull away easily from the skin. So, by the way, obviously I'm making a homemade pumpkin pie with real pumpkin, or you can use a 15-ounce can of pumpkin. I have my sourdough pie crust in the refrigerator, so this can all go together really easily later. So all this is just regular pumpkin that I am throwing into my food processor. And we're going to mix it all. And then I will be straining it with a cheesecloth just to get any excess fluid out, because apparently real pumpkin has more fluid than canned pumpkin. And we don't want that to mess up one of the main Thanksgiving dishes. Straining the pumpkin. Look at all of that excess fluid I got out of it. So there's been some controversy this week about Campbell's soup and possible bioengineered meat being added to their soup. There's a big question, who knows if it's real or not? However, we don't want to guess about what's in our food. We don't want to have toxins go into our body if we can avoid it. So today I am meal prepping everything for Thanksgiving. It is Thanksgiving today. So I am making my green bean casserole. And speaking of Campbell's soup, I grew up using Campbell's condensed soup for broccoli casserole, green bean casserole. It was a staple in our home. And who knows what preservatives and additives were in it. So today, the only thing that is coming from a box or a can is this organic bone broth. The ingredients: organic chicken bone broth, organic onions, spices, apple cider vinegar is the preservative in this. And this is the only thing that I should have made on my own, but I just didn't have time. And then we've got other whole ingredients, of course, my green beans, which are blanching in the sink. But it's all things that I know, separate ingredients. Nothing is questionable. So in order to chop this onion, if y'all remember from my other YouTube video, I had a little mishap with the mandolin. So I bought this phenomenal chopper that I am going to unbox today, and it is going to replace my cheese grater, my food chopper, and who knows how many other kitchen gadgets I can replace with this. So it's by Kitchen Cutter. Apparently they've been around, I believe, for 100 years. And so it comes with all of these little cones for different items. I can even make waffle fries. My husband is going to be so excited for those. Lots and lots of cones. And I won't be slicing my finger off this time. Thank you, dear. One more. This was the coolest gadget that I saw at Hack Your Health. Like I said, this is the only thing I purchased at the conference. This was my only hack gadget. Anything to make it easier in my kitchen. Because Lord knows, I spend a lot of time in here now. Okay, how does this work? I have no idea. We're going to figure it out. But I just wanted to give you all a little show and tell. So rubber feet, suction cups. This thing is not going to move. So I'm going to be dicing onions with this and any other vegetables I need to dice. Welcome to my denormalized Thanksgiving dinner. The only thing I used from my box was the chicken stock. So we have the fermented cranberry sauce, which has been fermenting since Monday. This is the honey, orange zest, orange juice, and cranberries. This is gravy with sourdough starter and chicken stock. Mashed potatoes, obviously. This is my green bean casserole with nothing out of a can or a box with a sourdough topper. It's a little different than the green beans, the crispy green beans. We'll see if I like it this year. I might do the homemade fried onions next year. This is stuffing with sourdough bread cubes, apples, celery, onion, and sage sausage from our farm. And of course, our smoked turkey that I got from our farm. It is vaccine-free, hormone-free, antibiotic-free, pasture-raised, no soy, no grains. So this is a small meal. You don't have to go as above and beyond as I did. But even making small changes and shopping local at farmers markets, shopping sales at your organic markets. My mom's organic market ran massive sales for Thanksgiving, and they released the sale list Friday or Saturday, and I was able to get a lot of my ingredients, the produce, for probably 50 to 70% off. So it made it really affordable. My turkey was $4.99 a pound. Most of my grocery stores that were organic were charging anywhere from $3 to $9 a pound for the same kind of turkey. Yes, they went up to that
it was that pricey for some of the stores for the same quality. But anyways, I will show the pies next, but this is our meal. Definitely doable for you as well.
Here are both of the pies I made for this meal. The pumpkin pie had the perfect amount of sweetness, much more spice, and then the chocolate chess pie, which definitely was on the little sweeter side, both phenomenal. All of these recipes can be found in the show notes.